cheki, si ni ile selector, yani wase wakiingia mamta tuna respecta money na pia tuna respecta OGs wale wamejitolea ndo si tuweze kutoboa.
Hello everybody, welcome to our Uongozi Fresh edition on YouTube, bringing out leaders who are in K.A.N.U. Today we are very lucky to meet one of the persons from K.A.N.U. who deals with women and youth. Please.
Hi everyone, my name is Chepkoech Towett, but mostly I am known as Chep, and I sit in the secretariat of the K.A.N.U party as the K.A.N.U Women Congress coordinator. And yeah, as you said, I represent women, both young and not so young. Yes.
Okay. Talk about your career. Okay. Before K.A.N.U, where were you?
It's very interesting because politics for me has always been of interest. I have always wanted to be part of politics. I just didn't know how and in what capacity. You know, is it elective, an elective post? Is it now the back end, like what I am doing? So in 2016, just before the 2017 general election, I was working I was in radio. I was in Mumbai radio. I used to host a show, and I met one of an aspirant from Laikipia County who was
on the other side of town,
who is very controversial, very, and I was introduced to him because I had met his team. Approached me and they told me, Chep, we would like you to join our team, and this is why I think we should join our team. So I said, okay, let me sit down with this guy. If he convinces me in what his aspirations are for Laikipia County, then I would think about it. So they introduced me to the guy, and when I walked in, the guy was running for Laikipia Senate. So I'm sure if you Google that, you'll see who that is. So when I walked in, and this is the first time I'm seeing someone who's been painted in the media as this villain. So when I walked in and he spoke to me, I could not make the connection, and I could not see what these people, what it is they see. Maybe I could say because I am young and I did not get to experience whatever it is that was happening at that time. So I spoke to him, he convinced me, and he was like, really, I would like an addition to my team. I am person and I am woman who is vibrant. So I said, okay, fine. So we began the campaign in Laikipia for about a year and a half. And it was quite interesting because I was like a campaign manager. So it was very hectic, very minimal sleep. Yes, very long hours. It was a very, I don't even know what to tell you. It was a very high voltage job and very high energy, and it is go. And I dealt with so many people, so the logistics was a nightmare. So you can imagine being thrust into that in my mid-20s. In fact, it was just before my mid-20s, was quite the task. And I was mostly the only woman around until another friend of mine joined. She's also in politics, but in another political party. So for the longest time, I was the only woman in that team, surrounded by men. So that gave me the push and the strength and the realization to know that I can do this. So when he joined K.A.N.U as a candidate after being rejected elsewhere, after the election, I was like, you know what? I think this is where I want. This is what I want to do. I think I have found my footing in what I want to do in politics. So that's when I made the decision, with the help also of one of our party members, who is also an official, who pushed me and embraced me into the party and told me, Chep, I know you can do this. And believed in me up until this point. So yeah, that was my entry into politics. But as you know, as a young woman, there's so many challenges. One, as a woman, there's a lot of challenges in politics. And then two, as a young woman. Now the challenges are double what you face just by being a woman. So yeah, the long and the short is...
Tell us about the challenges. Because now you're telling me there are two challenges. One as a woman, two as a young woman.
politics generally in Africa, but particularly in Kenya, is very patriarchal. And to be in politics as a woman, there will always be a tag hanging over your head that you got into politics because of this or the other reason that are mostly not good to say. Words I cannot even say in camera, you know. You slept with this person, you know, you cut this shortcut, you did all these things. Yes, I acknowledge the fact that there are some women who've gone down that road, but it's also not sustainable as a woman that is your plan on as you're entering into politics. And there's also the fighting for your space as a woman in politics, given that I said it's patriarchal, and most of our political parties in Kenya are owned by men, for lack of a better term. So when you go to a decision-making table, it is most likely you will find it's a male-dominated kind of conversation, you understand? Because in politics, women is just to go mobilize, you know, go distribute material, mobilize for rallies and all this. But when it comes to the real decisions concerning whether it is the people who send you to represent them, whether it is even about the country, whether it's a topical issue in the country, you understand, you would most likely find one or none sitting on that table as women. So there's that. And then even the political party intrigues within the party, you know. There is a lot of, in politics, mwenye nguvu mpishe. There is no order. It's not like working for a corporate where you know there's protocol, there's this, there's that, there's order. In politics, it's the one field that we thrive in chaos, you know. So you constantly are either fighting for your space, or either fighting for your survival. So it needs a lot of wisdom, it needs a lot of emotional intelligence, it needs a lot of patience, it needs a lot of understanding, because most times it's on voluntary basis. It is, you sit as a person and say, what do I want to achieve from this? Is it the experience? Is it the connection? Is it the network? You know, what I'm getting in to do what? That is the question you answer. And if you can answer that question, you will, no matter what you face, you will always remember, why did I get in?
You've told us about K.A.N.U has got projects, initiatives for women. What are some of the things that we're talking about?
After the 2017 general election, we did not do well as a party. We feel like we could have done better, but also we realized that we lacked the tools to help our candidates, especially our women candidates. So the party leadership made a decision that this time around, before the 2022 elections, we will see what to do to make sure that our women candidates are well prepared for the 2022 general election. And with that in mind, as a Congress, we developed what we call a training manual. And our training manual is broken down into two. So we have a part that trains the K.A.N.U Women Congress members, that's just the normal members, someone who does not want to vie. And then we have a part that talks about training on the women candidates. Now, on the women aspirants, we just have the normal staff, political party staff, recruitment, you know, mobilization, branch management. Branch is now what we call accounting. So in the party it's called a branch, and such stuff. So things that touch on them directly wherever they are as a K.A.N.U Women Congress member. And then on the candidates front, we have financial management, campaign fundraising, branding, networking, personal grooming, media handling, you know, such stuff. Because we realize women don't lose because they were not good candidates. We lose out on very mundane issues, you know. Maybe ulipigwa vita, you know, kulikuwa na goons. So how do you handle your security as a woman candidate? Make sure you always have security where you go, whether the meeting was organized by you or not, because your opponent is constantly working against you. You understand? So sometimes it's the very, very small things. Women, as you know, in our African society, again, are not the ones who control, for lack of a better term, family financial resources. You know, a woman will have to go and sit maybe with the husband, the family, extended family, and say that I want to go for this seat, how am I going to do it? Can you finance me? Because as you know, our campaigns, we self-finance. So the assets we find maybe belong to the family jointly. So she cannot make an autonomous decision to say, I'm going to sell that parcel of land for me to go and vie for a seat. So how do we ensure that women fundraise? Is it crowd pulling? What do you do as a woman to make sure that you have that money? Unfortunately, our elections have been turned into, it's now about money. It is no longer about the candidates. It's no longer about the policies. It's no longer about, let's put this person because they're going to fight for whatever it is we believe in, whatever speaks to them, whatever ideology they believe in. It's become about who has the highest, who has the most money. So, and that is where women lose out. Sometimes, or most times, women lose out on that. So, we've made a decision as a party to equip our candidates, and that we have begun. I think from our online pages, you can see we've done over half of the counties. We've trained both members, and we've started identifying our women aspirants, because we call them candidates after the point of party primary. So we are also making a call to women out there, young or not, come to K.A.N.U. And K.A.N.U is a good party for women. K.A.N.U is not, we are not discriminating. And K.A.N.U cares about the women. And our party leadership has women at their hearts on how are we going to ensure that we have women being elected into whatever legislative assembly it is, whether it's a county assembly, the Senate, or the National Assembly. So I am making the call out there to all the women. You come to the K.A.N.U headquarters, you will find Chep actually here.
Okay, Sasa.
Yes.
So, since you're told that you have trainings, where there's empowerment, there's how you can able to let the women know how to deal with themselves when they're on the ground.
Yes.
So what does the future look like for a K.A.N.U women representative?
The future is bright, for sure. The future is bright, and we were somewhere in a meeting over the weekend, and a young lady from a university spoke, and she said, it is coming home. And I believe in that. It is coming home. Whatever it is, whether we are going for the top seat, it is coming home. So that is what I want. It's my rally call for women. Come in your numbers. We will care about you. Nakiti utaipata. We will fight with you, and we will fight for you.
Okay, let me ask you, why do you think we don't have a women president as per now in Kenya?
Again, unfortunately, most of our conversation has been centered around being African. Again, when you get into a conversation, you hear women say women are their worst enemies. I like to disagree with that point. We've been preconditioned to believe that a leader is a man. We are a patriarchal society. Let us not forget that. We are African. And a good example, what were we taught? Who is the head of the house?
Father.
Correct. What does that tell you as a child growing up?
The father.
Who
Everything.
is supposed to be the leader?
The father.
You understand? When you go to choose a leader, we are in a group of 10. People will say, let's pick a what?
A man.
No, a chair?
Chairman.
Correct.
Not a chair lady.
Yes. So over time, you precondition yourself to think that it is a man who always has to be the head. And that is why women are the biggest percentage of voters in this country, whether young or otherwise. But we can never pull together to vote for a man. I can guarantee you this, if we were sitting 5 of us here, and we were 4 women and we were alone, a woman will say, "Huyu ndo akue chairman." You understand? And that is why, even look at our some of the cultural practices that we have as Africans. Even religious, in the Muslim community. So over time, it is something that it is so entrenched in you that you don't even see yourself doing it. You don't even see. So it's gonna take time, but it's a conversation that we need to start having as young people. That even women can be in any field as whoever, And as they say, the man is the head, the woman is the neck.
Neck.
Can the head turn without the neck turning?
No.
So women, Kama ni mbaya mbaya, tukikataa kusema hiyo kichwa haitaangalia huku, isiangalie. Let us also take our power as women and claim it. And claim it to do good things for this country. Claim it to show the people in this country that women can, and women can be good leaders. Look at the countries that have women as presidents. They are doing exceptionally well. Even during the COVID situation, the countries that had women as presidents were doing so well. All of us were looking and wondering, oh wow, so that's a woman's job. What does that tell me? A woman is a planner. A woman will never let her kids go hungry. She will do everything and anything in her power to ensure that there's food on the table. So why not give a woman a chance?
I mean, that's why K.A.N.U is here to address that.
Correct.
Interesting. Now, also the other thing that actually is a major problem in Kenya is unemployment, especially for the youth and women. K.A.N.U, what is K.A.N.U doing about it?
The unemployment issue is not a one-person issue. The unemployment issue, has to be, we have to fight it collectively, whether in government or not, whether it is development partners or whoever it is. We have to fight it collectively and have a common goal. What are we fighting? We cannot stand here and say, oh, when you elect me as your leader, I am going to fight unemployment. How? Because the how is where we've always failed. We have government policies that are not being implemented. You understand? We have things that are set in this country. We are the best in setting documents, in
policies.
We have the best brains in this country. But the implementation process and trusting those people to implement, it is who you trust to sit there and make sure that those policies are implemented. That's where we go. And that is where we have all these issues as a country, because who do we trust to go and sit to implement those policies to ensure that it is working for why they were set in the first place? So we need to go back and begin from the root. What is the issue? It's not just unemployment. What has caused the ripple effect that we have it at this degree that we have it? We've had unemployment for the last how many years? It's been an issue with the youth and women. Every election cycle is the one thing that every presidential candidate talks about. But for the last, even say 20 years, who has come up with a solution? One that has worked. So let's go back to the drawing board and say, yes, we've set these policies and we want to tackle the issue of unemployment, but who are we sending? Who are sitting on those tables to help with that issue?
We're heading towards the 2022 elections. What policies, what strategies has K.A.N.U put in place for them to put in more women into leadership positions?
Strategies and the party, and also when the issue of the BBI resumes, as we are waiting for the ruling on the 20th of August. Remember, if BBI is back and it is passed, you have to pass the list that goes to IEBC has to meet the threshold of the 2/3 gender power. You understand? So as a political party, you have no choice but to have those women on the ballot. So that is one, a good thing for the women. And two, pushes the party to ensure that the women are there. And it is the right women. And not just have women, because you see, also political parties are political parties. We can decide as a party that K.A.N.U, we will only field women in what is perceived as not our strong points. So where we know we are sure that the ticket is sure, most parties will maybe put a man so that they win the seat. You understand? So we also have to look out for ourselves as women. We are not just relegated to those places they know we cannot take a seat. So we have good strategies for women, and I said I will not tell you what it is, but kujeni ni waibie seat.
Okay, that is true. Now, if I was to ask you, with the current political turmoil that is going on, with the COVID, how is K.A.N.U going to win the elections? I mean, we have COVID, we have restrictions. What?
Now more than ever, as a party, we have gone back to our grassroots. And K.A.N.U had or still has roots everywhere in this country we go. find a KANU office, you will find people of KANU, you understand? So we have been going door to door, speaking to our people, and them speaking to their people down there. So it's not about the masses, because again, we have to follow the government protocol. Again, we do not want to endanger lives because of politics. It is not a matter of my country. We can wait for the COVID to subside, we can wait until the country open up. But as we are waiting, we do small stuff, you know, a meeting of 5 people, a meeting of 10 people, just talk to them about what is happening in the party, update them on things that are happening in the party, and in turn, they take the message down to the grassroots. So that's what we've been doing as a party. But on the big meetings and the rallies, we put a stop to that.
Okay. Since you were experienced from a political party, from going to vying, sitting up with somebody who wanted to be governor at some point or another, if there were some traits, characters, qualities that you actually put across to aspiring ladies, young men, what would you tell them?
Character traits. Be yourself. Be patient. Stick to what you believe in. Like, you remember when we began the conversation, I told you about the why. And the day that why stops making sense, it means you've lost it. Or it means you've lost your way in why you got in the first place. It is very important. Why am I here? What do I want to achieve? If you can answer that and answer it honestly, then you're good to go. Because you will constantly work towards achieving that goal. Even when things are difficult, you will always remind yourself, why did I get here? And say, you know what? If I have to breathe, let me breathe and continue. You know? And be consistent. As a woman in politics, you have to ask yourself, do I want to be right, or do I want to win?
Interesting. Okay, now, do you want to win or do you want to be right? Very important. Okay, now we have our uongozi fresh. 1 question, 1 answer, 1 second.
Okay.
I don't have to think. I just want to be top of
I
your
am
mind.
already feeling the pressure.
Like on top of your mind.
Okay.
Favorite color?
Black.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Cat or dog?
None.
Favorite destination travel? Mombasa,
Amalfi.
Nairobi?
Amalfi.
Okay. Favorite morning routine?
I wake up and pray.
Hey. Last song you heard that you actually had to put it on repeat?
This is embarrassing. No.
Okay, so
No, it's not. It's Tabule Muzina. I really love it. I am a lover of rumba and reggae.
okay.
Yes.
Favorite phrase, quote you want to put across?
While we might be individually strong, we are collectively powerful.
Please repeat that again slowly.
While we might be individually strong, we are collectively powerful.
If you were to recommend a book, I hope you're a reader, which book would you recommend?
The 5 a.m. Club.
Okay. What is it about?
Just routine and how it's what are they called? People call them self-help books.
Self-motivation book.
No, they murder it by saying self-help. But yeah. And also 48 laws of power.
Okay.
Because in politics, I mean, really, it encompasses everything in my field. So that is the political Bible, so to say. Yeah.
Okay. Which failure would you actually, can you remember?
Failure. Not having time for a social life, especially after I joined politics. I am a lover of life. I love music. I love to dance. But since 5 years ago, that has become history. So sometimes, I miss that.
If the young women, aspiring leaders, want to come and join K.A.N.U, where can they find you?
Right here where we are. We are the K.A.N.U headquarters, which is around Yaya Center, Chania Avenue, and you'll find the K.A.N.U headquarters there. We have a very lovely team in the office of young people also, and I would encourage young people to come and see that K.A.N.U has very young and vibrant people. K.A.N.U is welcoming to young people. K.A.N.U gives opportunities to young people. So, nastaki ikuwe story. Come and see it for yourself. We also have our social media pages. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, the K.A.N.U Party. You can also go to our website, www.kanuparty.org. So, yeah, we also have our phone number there. You can always call and do inquiries if you want to register as a member. Yeah. Or you can dial *483*03# and join us. Karibu member. Yes.
Okay. When they come to K.A.N.U, are they all the same, or do you have different entry levels?
You see, it depends. You're coming, you want to vie with the party, or you just want to be a party member. So we have 5 categories of party membership. We have the Imara membership, which is free. We have the bronze membership, which is 5,000. We have the silver membership, which is 20,000. We have the gold membership, which is 100,000, and we have the platinum membership, which is 500,000. So if you're vying like for the gubernatorial seat, the Senate seat, you have to pay for the gold membership. If you're vying like for MCA, you have to pay for the silver membership. And normally we have waivers for women and youth. So for the nomination fees. So depending on what the National Elections Board agree on as a waiver, so we consider the young people and women to give them a chance to be party members. But registration fees, that one you have to pay. It is if you're vying, you want to vie with K.A.N.U as a candidate, then the nomination fee for young women, for youth and women, we normally have a waiver. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if you're a young man, if you're a young lady, if you're a young,
Yes.
there is a way that actually K.A.N.U takes care of your financial perspective from that perspective.
Yes, and you see with the registration fee, it is something, for example, you want to be an MCA, you have to be a silver member. You don't have to pay one of the 20,000. So you can come pay 2K, maybe 5K. So when you're done paying, you get your membership number. So it's not, you don't have to stress yourself, say, sasa sina 20,000. Yeah. Women are leaders everywhere, from CEOs to housewives who raise kids. And this country was built on the back of strong women. So I am making a rally call for women to join us. And we at K.A.N.U care about women leadership and youth leadership. So, yes, we care about you. Come.
You all had it from the regional coordinator of the women in Parliament at K.A.N.U. For more of these tips on leadership skills to women, to the youth, please join us for our next interview here at Uongozi Fresh, the K.A.N.U official YouTube channel. Thank you.
Hata hama yangen Mase tunawashow the njia juu sisi si wase wa kukazia juu wengi mazee wamesema